Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Ratan. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 9th of May. 4 militants involved in civilian killings in India's Jammu and Kashmir arrested. Pakistan cautions against rising temperatures following heat wave. And 2 security personnel killed as explosions gunfire rock Afghan capital. And now for all the details. Police in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Wednesday claimed to have arrested 4 militants responsible for the killing of 3 civilians in Baramulla district last month. The militants were arrested during several raids held in the area, officials said.
Police in India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Wednesday said it had arrested 4 militants and 6 overground workers during raids, thus solving a triple murder case in which 3 youths were gunned down by militants. Security officials claimed it was Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba behind the incident and other civilian killings in Baramulla district. A huge cache of arms and ammunition were also recovered from the possession of the arrested militants.
These were the local militants who killed these 3 civilian youths, and it is also pertinent to mention that during this investigation, we also caught hold on one active militant who recently joined, Bilal Ahmed, who also fired with the Chinese pistol on those 3 youths. And again, we busted 2 another most important recent attacks.
The 3 civilians who belong to Baramulla district were killed on April 30th. They were all in their early 20s and were shot from a very close range by the militants, leading to their death on the spot. India accuses Pakistan of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Secretary General of Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO Rashid Alimov on Tuesday met Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj in New Delhi. The meeting came ahead of the SCO summit to be held in China in June, which is likely to be attended by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Secretary General of Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO Rashid Alimov called on Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj and discussed wide range of issues in New Delhi on Tuesday. The meeting came ahead of the SCO summit to be held in China in June, which is likely to be attended by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Swaraj had last month attended the meeting of SCO Council of Foreign Ministers in Beijing. Later in the day, Alimov also met Indian Minister of Commerce and Industry and Civil Aviation Suresh Prabhu and discussed business cooperation between SCO members. However, details of the meeting were not immediately known. The SCO grouping set up in 2001 was originally formed to fight threats posed by radical Islam and drug trafficking from Afghanistan. It now acts as a political, economic and an overall security organization. In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Weather Department on Tuesday said it was keeping a watchful eye on any new development in the Arabian Sea after a heat wave gripped the southern port of city of Karachi last week. Although temperatures have lowered, residents are taking all measures to keep cool and protect themselves.
Pakistan's Meteorological Office said on Tuesday it was monitoring weather patterns closely after a heat wave gripped the southern port city of Karachi last week. Temperatures in Karachi reached 111 Fahrenheit last Thursday after the weather department warned residents temperatures would rise. Although temperatures lowered by Tuesday this week, but residents remain cautious, with some trying to keep cool by sipping icy juices in the shade and covering their heads with wet cloths.
3 और 4 मई की बात कर रहा हूं कि हमारी अपर में भी गर्मी थी, नीचे सरफेस के ऊपर लो प्रेशर एरिया था जिसने हमारी सरफेस की विंड को डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया, मुनक़ता कर दिया। सी ब्रीज कट ऑफ हो गई 2 दिन के लिए। तो टेम्परेचर जुलाई जुमरात को 3 मई को 44 चला गया। आए दिन 40 चला गया। और हमने जो फोरकास्ट की थी वो यही की थी कि तकरीबन ये समझ लीजिए कि जुमेरात को शदीद गर्मी पड़ी कराची में, उसको हमने हॉट डे डिक्लेयर किया था।
Last week, 2 meteorological stations in Pakistan registered high record temperatures of more than 122 Fahrenheit, which is the first of this time of the year, according to UN Weather Agency. The World Meteorological Organization said on May 4th it expected weather events to become increasingly more extreme as a result of climate change.
Moving on, residents in Pakistan-administered Kashmir are continuing their protest against the Pakistani security forces over the killing of an activist in the illegally occupied region in March. The activist was killed after police fired upon a peaceful march protesting against use of people as human shields during cross-border shelling. Protests are continuing at frequent intervals across Pakistan-administered Kashmir to seek justice for Naeem Butt, a political activist killed in police firing on March 16. The protesters, mostly traders, closed their shops and have been taking out protest rallies to demand the immediate action against the perpetrators of the crime. They are also demanding a judicial inquiry into the targeted killing. On March 16, thousands of people had joined a march against the Pakistani army to express solidarity with the people suffering from cross-border shelling. Activist Naeem Butt, who was shot by the police during the protest, was succumbed to his injuries in the hospital. Political activists have now launched a campaign to seek justice for Butt and have announced more protests against brutality by Pakistani army and police. In news from Afghanistan, the Independent Election Commission of Afghanistan on Tuesday said over 1.3 million people have registered to vote in the parliamentary and district council elections, which are scheduled to be held in October. The poll body has established over 1,000 voting registration centres across the country, with the majority inside school premises.
Officials from Independent Election Commission of Afghanistan or IEC on Tuesday said over 1.3 million people have registered to vote in the upcoming parliamentary and district council elections. According to IEC, out of the 1.3 million, over 351,000 are women who have registered. Meanwhile, students in the country raise concern over the existence of voter registration centers inside schools as they are scared after last month's suicide attack.
که بادم انفجار نشه ما پدرم گفته که برو تو خانه برو که مادر تبلنگ نشه.
The IEC has established over 1,000 voting registration centers across the country, with a majority inside school premises. Reports indicate that many families in Kabul have been preventing their children from attending schools in the wake of last month's terror attack at an election-related facility which left scores of civilians dead. The poll body has scheduled parliamentary and district council elections on October 20.
More on news from Afghanistan. At least 2 security personnel were killed and several wounded after gunmen set off at least 3 explosions and then battled security forces from buildings they occupied in Afghan capital Kabul on Wednesday. Interior Ministry officials said the first suicide bomber attacked a station in the western part of Kabul. There was sporadic gunfire after the blast as a cleanup operation was carried out. Following the first blast, 2 explosions occurred in Shahr-e-Naw area in downtown Kabul. Officials said gunmen occupied a nearby building from which they were firing at security forces till last reports came in. A number of Afghan students recently graduated from an Indian university in northern hill town of Shimla and now hope to contribute towards economic, political and educational growth of the war-ravaged country. Many students from Afghanistan have passed from the university in the past, including former Afghan President Hamid Karzai.
A group of students from Afghanistan recently got graduated from an Indian university in northern Himachal Pradesh province and hope to contribute towards economic, political and educational growth of their war-ravaged country. Reportedly, India sponsors over 1,000 scholarships and hosts over 16,000 Afghan students. The graduated students now wish to go back and help in the nation-building process and bring an end to decades of war in Afghanistan.
I basically believe that the only tool that you can build a society for a better future is education. We got a lot of education, we got a lot of awarenesses here. Surely we will carry this education, this knowledge, this perspectives, these thoughts and ideologies to Afghanistan.
You know better that it is 4 decades that there is war in my country. The most important thing is education. There is a quote, Socrates said that humans are similar, but the only difference is that education makes people different from each other.
Over a dozen students from Afghanistan have passed in various courses from Himachal Pradesh University earlier also. Former Afghan President Hamid Karzai was one of them as he got his degree in international relations and political science from the same university in 1983. Afghanistan has one of the world's lowest literacy rates, with only 3 in 10 adults able to read, according to the United Nations.
51 underprivileged couples tied the nuptial knot during a mass marriage ceremony in India's western Gujarat province recently. The main highlight of the event was the marriage of a 73-year-old man whose sons were also married off in the same function.
A mass marriage was recently organized for members of an underprivileged tribal community in a village in India's western Navsari district. The main highlight of the event, which saw 51 couples tie the nuptial knot, was the marriage of a 73-year-old man whose sons were also married off in the same function. The marriages were held according to Hindu rituals, after which the organizers gifted a number of basic commodities and kitchen essentials to the couples to begin their new life.
जो समूह शादी का आयोजन किया, इसमें बहुत विशेष रूप से आकर्षित जो रहा वो ये रहा कि एक बाप जिसकी उम्र 73 इयर्स है और उसके साथ उसके दोनों बेटों की भी शादी एक ही छत के नीचे, एक ही मंडप के नीचे तीनों लोगों की शादी हुई.
Navsari district of India's western Gujarat province is heavily populated with tribals and is one of the most economically distressed regions of the country. Mass marriages are becoming a popular phenomenon in the country. They were conducted to lessen the financial burden on the deprived classes of the society.
A cricket tournament was held recently in India's northern Leh city. The 40-day tournament was aimed at giving a lift to sports and provide a platform to budding players. With the focus on promoting sports in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir, a cricket tournament was organized in Leh region against the backdrop of the majestic Himalayas. The 40-day T20 tournament came to an end on Tuesday, with Leh United emerging as winners after they beat Kashmir Stars by 9 runs. Over 30 teams took part in the tournament, which was aimed at giving a lift to sports and provide a platform for budding players.
इनको हम एक मैसेज भी देते हैं कि आजकल के जो ड्रग्स है, जो एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स है, उनसे दूर रहे और स्पोर्ट्स को वो दे.
यहाँ का जो क्रिकेट है अभी हर साल बड़ा होते जा रहा है, बड़े प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं, इसलिए हमारे ले के लोकल प्लेयर्स जो है उनमें भी काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ और इम्प्रूवमेंट होगा आने वाले सालों में.
Organizers urge the youth of Kashmir to engage in sports activities and make a living out of it. The tournament is held in the memory of late Nuang, Dorje and Stobdan, who laid down their lives while fighting for the grant of Hill Council status to Ladakh region in the 1989 agitation. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.